This is the RamanaMaharshi Satsang. I'm reading from and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself. Welcome. I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. Ramana's teaching of non-duality is deep and profound, and I want to share it. I'm reading and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita, an important text of Advaita. Today is chapter 18, verses 33 to 36. This chapter is about the peace of the sage. The ignorant practice meditation and no thought. The wise, like men in deep sleep, do nothing. The ignorant man finds no peace either by effort or non-effort. The wise man, by truth alone, is stilled. Though they are by nature self alone, pure intelligence, love in perfection, though they transcend the universe and are clearness itself, men of the world will not see this through meditation and practices. The ignorant man will never be liberated by his repetitious practices. Blessed is he who by simple understanding enters timeless freedom. So let's break these verses down. 1833. The ignorance practice meditation and no thought. The wise, like men in deep sleep, do nothing. This verse points to the effortless, natural state of one who abides as the self. It reminds you that forcing the mind into silence or seeking some special state through effort keeps you identified with the one who seeks. The wise do not act to quiet the mind, nor do they chase experiences. They rest naturally, like in deep sleep, where there is no striving, no concepts, and no separation. Ashtavakra invites you to notice how effort itself is born of ignorance of your true nature. If you are striving, who is it that strives? And for what? Ashtavakra turns the whole idea of spiritual effort on its head. You may have spent years trying to discipline your thoughts or trying to control the mind, trying to force the mind into silence. Yet, the one making effort is itself part of the illusion. It is at the base of the illusion. The wise don't achieve stillness. They know that stillness is already there. This stillness is the background of every experience, already present before thought, feeling, or effort arises. Like in deep sleep, where no striving exists, pure being remains untouched. For you, this is an invitation to stop identifying with the doer and rest in effortless awareness. Freedom is not found by trying to be free, but in seeing that you were never bound. The peace you seek is the natural state of yourself, revealed when the seeker drops away. 1834. The ignorant man finds no peace either by effort or non-effort. The wise man, by truth alone, is stilled. Ashtavakra makes a clear distinction between seeking peace through doing and finding peace by recognizing what is already unchanging. Whether through effort or inaction, the one who identifies as a seeker remains restless. It is only the wise who recognize the truth of their own being, the timeless, formless awareness that they are, who naturally become still. Peace is not created, it is uncovered by knowing yourself as the ever-present self, untouched by the movements of mind and body. Know the self by being the self. This teaching clears up a subtle trap, thinking peace can be found by either doing something or doing nothing. Some seekers chase peace through endless practice, others through stubborn detachment. Both approaches keep you caught in the idea of a seeker who must find something. As long as you are a seeker doing anything, you're still inside the trap of ignorance, ignorance of your own being. The wise are not interested in techniques or avoidance. They rest as stillness because they know what is true. Their nature is unchanging awareness. And in that self-knowledge, the rest of stillness happens on its own. You're being encouraged to stop relying on strategies and instead look directly at the self, the awareness that you are, in which every effort and thought appears. Truth doesn't need effort or non-effort. It only asks to be noticed and known as already what you are. 1835. Though they are by nature self alone, pure intelligence, love, and perfection, though they transcend the universe and are clearness itself, men of the world will not see through meditation and practices. Ashtavakra reminds you of your true nature, pure intelligence. limitless love, and untouched perfection. No practice, no technique, and no ritual can reveal what you already are. The mind seeks the self through methods and practices, but the self is not an object to be found or comprehended by the mind. Men of the world, those caught in appearances and beliefs, look for this reality in objects, states, and experiences, missing the simple fact that is always present as the one who is aware. You're reminded here that no experience, no state, no technique can reveal what you already are. The self is not an object the mind can grasp. Though your nature is perfect, radiant, and boundless, the mind keeps looking outside, somewhere else, trying to find mental objects, imagining it will one day arrive at truth through effort. These so-called men of the world, those fixated on appearances and results, stay trapped because they look for reality as if it were something hidden. But nothing is closer to you than your own awareness. It has never been absent. Practices may quiet the mind, but recognizing yourself requires nothing but simple, clear knowing. You are the one in whom all practices happen, the silent witness of all movements. So know yourself. 1836. The ignorant man will never be liberated by his repetitious practices. Blessed is he who by simple understanding enters timeless freedom. Ashtavakra strips away the idea that liberation is achieved through repeated effort. While effort may discipline the mind, it cannot bring freedom because the seeker remains intact. Freedom arises not from accumulated effort, but from a simple, direct recognition. I am not the body, not the mind, not the seeker. I am the formless, ever-present self. This knowledge is not intellectual, but a living fact, seen in direct experience beyond concepts. Know the self. Be the self. This verse is a profound reassurance and a direct challenge. It tells you that liberation isn't the result of accumulation, not years of practice, vows, or austerity. The very idea that freedom lies in the future is itself a binding thought. The Blessed One is not the one who masters 1,000 techniques, but the one who pauses and sees, I have never been bound. That simple self-knowledge, not intellectual, but immediate and intimate, ends the whole drama. It reveals that freedom isn't gained, but recognized as what has always been here, what is here right now. You're being called to shift from doing to knowing. All practices are for the limited seeker. Freedom is for the boundless self. These verses guide you beyond effort and practices into the simple recognition of your natural state as the self. They remind you that peace, stillness, and freedom aren't achieved, but are already present, revealed in the quiet clarity of being aware of awareness itself. So now a satsang discourse by Nome, the nature of the self.
Not bound by the body. We are existence without beginning or end. Not bound by thought. We are of the nature of self-luminous consciousness, indivisible and non-objective. Not bound by that which is worldly appearance or illusion. We are immortal bliss, without cause or condition. If you know yourself, you are the Supreme Brahman. If you do not know yourself, then you must inquire as to who it is that does not know. If such an inquiry is deeply made, you know. For there are not two selves, a self to know and a self to be known. The self is only one. Mind transcendent, body transcendent. Without the least trace of differentiation or individuality. A body is subject to birth, decay, and death. Is that the self? If you set yourself free of misidentification with the body, what are you? If you cease to assume yourself to be an ego, an individual entity, what are you? What you are then is what you are now and always. It has only to be realized deeply within. To realize it deeply within, you must want to realize it. You must yearn for it more deeply, more intensely than anything else. All your desires for happiness and peace are fulfilled when you realize the truth of the self, what in truth you are. You find that for which you've been searching for so long is the ever-existent. Not here, not there, not now, and not then, but precisely who you are. Inquire deeply to know the self, just as Sri Bhagavan has recommended, and you will understand. The infinite, the eternal, Brahman, the vast absolute, the supreme good, Shiva. This is our very nature. It need not be attained anew. If you simply cease to misidentify as a body or with any thought, including the notion of I, the self will clearly reveal itself to itself. And therein you find the perfect fullness.
All right. And now let's take some time to inquire ourselves. You exist. You exist, and you know that you exist. Inquire, investigate within yourself. What remains when I stop chasing silence and simply rest as I am? Who is the one trying to become still? Who is the one performing these practices? And what happens when I look for this one? Can I find the one who meditates? Or is there only awareness present? Who am I? What am I? What is the nature of my existence? All right. And we're closed with a chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Well, I like these verses, even though they say all of this effort that I've been doing for decades is just looking in the wrong way. It does make my mind quieter, but I think for me it seemed like the quiet mind is where you start the inquiry. But it doesn't take inquiry at a quiet mind to notice that I exist, you know? So whatever it is, I'm not going to find it by any amount of doing. And yet it's always there. It's there right
And yet here
now.
we are, and yet here we are doing. So.
The paradox.
It's only doing as long as you identify with the body.
Right. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
Anyways, the body, just let the body do its thing. Doesn't matter.
That's right.
It's insentient, and it's the awareness is what's keeping the body around.
Yep.
And Ramana says the body and mind just do what they're called to do.
Right.
So that's not the problem. The problem is thinking that somehow
I am
the
doing it.
agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It is that. It is exactly that. Because if I mean, this is all assuming existence in relation to the body. But if we go from that premise, prarabdha karma predetermines everything, basically, except we have free will to turn within. The prarabdha will continue along its merry way, the way you were just describing it, Richard. And then
Yes.
but it really doesn't if there's no one there to experience what what that
The
it's
results
like
of the action.
yeah, exactly. Then it's like but there's a big difference between manolaya and manonasa.
I don't know those terms.
Manolaya is samadhi, the state of samadhi, when the but it retains Manolaya retains the attachment to body, and therefore it's a state of darkness.
And so it's still, and it's temporary.
And it's temporary, that's right, because of the attachment to the body, the senses reawaken, the attachment that continues.
Hmm.
And whether it's in the dream state or in the waking state, they're Ramana says they're identical, which I absolutely concur and agree with. And I mean, for what that's worth. But Manonasa, that's the difference. But that, I mean, Ramana's presence is only in the jiva's mind.
Hmm.
But that is sattvic illumination. So when we have the presence of the Sat Guru, we're being taught how to break the attachment to the vasanas and to the body. That's the key of and it's funny because it's also the thing about like the senses. Is it because of the shadows that we perceive the light? Because of our attachment, we're only seeing the shadows, but the light penetrates through,
Hmm.
and then we're allowed to extract lessons from the the even from the body attachment state.
Hmm.
But the truth of the matter is it's that's the difference between Leia and Nasa.
And
So
Leia is also connected with Nirvikalpa Samadhi, because Nirvikalpa Samadhi is temporary.
right,
And that's how Nome started, with just Nirvikalpa Samadhi just coming from the universe.
right.
And he then went away and found a Swami and practiced intensely for a few years. And then, waiting for a dentist, he had the final one doesn't come and go anymore. It took, I was with him for more than 10 years before I heard the story of his actual enlightenment experience, if you want to call it that. And I thought that was funny because a lot of these so-called gurus kind of start with their enlightenment story. And
Right.
when I asked, I asked Nomi one day about it, and he gave me an answer. He would answer questions like that, and I asked him why he didn't uh, tell that story, and he says, "What good does it do you to hear a story about somebody who doesn't exist?"
Well,
And the other thing I know about seekers is that if he told that story, I could just imagine the dentist office filled with people who are waiting for enlightenment.
yeah, that's funny. I once made a painting of a I mean, it was a somewhat abstract painting, but it was in the waiting room.
Okay.
So before you go into therapy, like you
Right.
always,
Yes.
or before you go into the dentist, there's always the infamous waiting room.
That's right. Okay. It sounds like you're painted with a sense of humor.
Yes, I tried sometimes. Sometimes it was a little dark, but that's humorous too. I mean,
Right.
can be. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
joining.
Namo
you.
Ramanaya.
We'll see you next week.
All
Namaste.
right. Namaste. Thank you.